previously on Balls.
Allan Donald
Another blonde.
joins us on Balls Radio this afternoon. AD, how's it going?
Hello, Darren. How are you well?
Yeah, top of the world. Thank you. Very good. Nice to catch up with you. And what we believe is an absolutely beautiful day up there today.
Yes, it is. We've had a couple of nice days, believe it or not. No, today is a stunning day. It's nice and warm, and they always get this sort of Indian summer here in September with my county days. September is normally a beautiful month, so we look forward to the remainder of the next 10 or so days.
Yeah, because normally also the temperature cranks up a little bit just before the winter arrives. Some of your hottest temperatures are around about now at the end of summer.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, it's nice temperatures. We're talking about, say, 24, 25 degrees, but most of all, fairly clear skies, So, but there's always that little bit of chill factor every now and again.
All right. How are things going in the camp? Obviously, we now know that England will remain number one in the world in ODIs until January. But the series is still very much alive. One win for South Africa in the last game, and we tie that series up with them. What's the mood like with the boys?
No, the mood's pretty calm, Darren. We've had a nice meeting this morning. Good solid practice as well. So, we got some work to do. There's no question about it. England have played particularly well in the last couple of one-day internationals. So, we want to finish off this series on a high and square the series, of course. No, the mood is nice and calm. We're looking forward to tomorrow.
All right, cool. And I think a lot of people are talking about England's batting and how well they've done. People have been mentioning Jonathan Trott in particular, but the one guy that has kind of held it together for them at the top there has been Bell. He's been a particularly sort of frustrating guy to get out of there during this ODI series.
Well, I know Ian very well, and obviously being a Warwickshire boy, and seeing this kid come through the ranks from academy level right through to the first team, sort of scholarship as a young kid throughout, and playing for Warwickshire first team, and then subsequently playing for England. He's a very, very good cricketer. He's the one guy, and with Jonathan Trott has formed a magnificent partnership. Those two guys have played well. We often talk about where we can get these guys out. We've had to earn the right to get them out. They haven't really gifted us their wickets under pressure. We've got a few things that we spoke about this morning, and going to try out from tomorrow. So, look, he's played well, and I think the whole, the England team as a whole has played pretty well, and give credit where it's due. So as I say, we've got some work to do, but we're quietly confident on tomorrow.
Just obviously with your knowledge and the amount of time you spent there and how well you know these guys, having not only seen them, played with them, but studied them as well. There was a conversation going on during the last game about Owen Morgan or Ian Morgan, whoever it's Owen Morgan, I would imagine that's how you pronounce it.
Owen, yeah.
Yeah, Owen. And just how they were saying that he's probably England's best batsman. Would you agree with that? I mean, if you had to look at the batters that when you work out plans around all of them, which is the toughest guy to dislodge, would you put Morgan there as the toughest guy?
Well, I would have to slightly disagree on that. I think that Ian Bell is definitely their best player, and I think that at the top of the order for me, and I'm not being biased when I say that, because knowing Belly very, very well and spending time with him, this kid is a class player. I mean, Owen is in a different category. He likes being ultra positive. I think he's the sort of player that for us would give you a chance every now and again. He's very aggressive, very sort of spontaneous sort of cricketer. Likes to stamp his authority early on the bowlers. Whereas Belly is the kind of guy that is very watchful and meticulous and plays really good solid cricket shots. So look, he's a dangerous cricketer, Owen Morgan. There's no doubt he can hurt you. He's shown that in the past, and has played a couple of blinding knocks for them when he's come in. I think if anything, we've in the Oval One Day International, when he came in at 64 for 3, we've just sort of sat back and let him find his feet a little bit. I think we were just a tad guilty of not being more aggressive towards him. We sort of know now what to do in this last game. We've got to step up a gear or two.
Yeah, because it seems to be a big call for them to elevate him to number 4 in their batting lineup. particularly with Ravi Bopara having a bit of a battle with his form at the moment. Clearly, by what you've just said, though, I mean, if you were on that side of the fence, you would disagree with it, or from a South African point of view, you'd probably enjoy having a guy like Morgan at number 4.
Yeah, I think so, because with Dale and the Spally bowled a couple of days ago, and it's just, you felt that we were a couple of wickets away from getting Morgan early against that sort of semi-new ball, and but I think the intentions when he did arrive at the crease, and the damage was pretty much done with Trott and Bell batting so well and taking it quite deep. So by the time he arrived at the crease, we showed the intention of being a bit more aggressive towards him. So I think Jonathan Trott's going to be, by all accounts, by the looks of it, he is injured. I think he's got a busted hand and will not take place, or won't play tomorrow. So we'll have to watch and see.
Okay. Yesterday, and chatting to guys like Polly and a few of the guys over the last few days, obviously the first target, winning the Test series, which is the biggest one in England, that's job done. Most of the conversations being that the ODI side is still a work in progress, and Gary and guys like yourself in the team are still having a look at the various combinations and options and things like that. Is that an accurate assessment from from outside the ranks? Is that there's no worry, no one's perturbed about the fact that we're 2-1 down in the series, we've lost 2 on the trot, because this is more of a long-term process?
You're very spot on there. I mean, there's no question about it that if you make an assumption between the Test team and the ODI side, this is very much a building. We busy building. So it's there's some youngsters and there's some experience, and it's going to take some time, as you say, to find those right combinations. Looking down the line, that will establish this one-day side into a solid one. It's very easy to say that the processes that we're busy building on now is going to take some time, and I think that we are going to have to be very patient with this process, and we're going to take some there's going to be along the way we're going to take some blows, but I mean for what we are building towards in the bigger picture down the line, this is worth the money spent, and obviously the players that Gary is investing in, and the selectors. And
obviously what you want to try and get out of this then is to be able to tick a few boxes next to a few names. Gary's come in and immediately thrown the net wide open. We've seen players coming in that everyone's gone, wow, that's cool, it's nice, let's have a look at him. And players like Algar, he's come into the side, and there must be a little tick next to the box with him, because he seems to be involved in every game. He made a key breakthrough again in the last ODI. So those are the kind of guys you want to sort of finish the series going, right, well, we've ticked that box, that was a good call.
Yeah, I mean, Dean has earned his spot, there's no question, and a couple of knocks that he's played so far, he has really acquitted himself well of his job, under pressure, has hung in there on a fairly difficult condition during that first innings at Lord's the other day, when it was a little bit spicy. But I think that the nice thing is for us now is there's no callous in the group at the moment, and you can give some players a well-earned rest. Gone are the days where you can just play a Dale Steyn or a Moraine Morkel. It's time for us to see what we have in the tank, and that's all round. Some youngsters now, it's time for some talented young kids in South Africa to stick up their hands and say, me. So the door is wide open, and the door is there to be slammed down by some of the young talent that we have in South Africa in terms of one-day cricket. So it's good to see a Dean Elgar taking that chance and establishing himself early. So it only stems for good things to happen heading on our way forward.
It's amazing how it's changed, Adi, from your day where you could literally predict the one-day international side for a series a month beforehand, and it would look very similar to that Test side. Things have changed quite a lot in not a very long time.
Well, we didn't have 3 forms of the game back then, and now, with the volume of cricket that guys are playing, especially Test cricket, you want your best team on the park at all time, and that team is pretty much solid and established. So, now I mean, over the last couple of days, you know, with Callis arriving now back in the T20 side, and Levy and Johan Botha and Beardine and these guys flying in tonight. So, you know, checking into the hotel, getting ready for the T20s. It's almost, you almost look around and you see faces come and faces go. So, but that's the professional era, and that's how much cricket these guys are playing these days. You know, so it's very exciting to have all these guys, you know, booking in and out of hotels and seeing new faces in a different form of the game.
Who's doing more talk with the spinners, you or Gary?
No, we actually went last night. We went. Gary took the batters and had a dinner with them, and you know, I took the bowlers, and we sat down and we had some nice dinner that just breaks up the monotonous bowlers or batters meetings somehow, and just chill out and just discuss and catch up. You know, so it's really good to split it up that way. But I mean, yeah, I mean, when we talk about bowling, all the spinners and all the seamers, they all come and we share things together. You know, as I say, that it's for a fast bowler to get into a spinner's head is something quite special. You know, it's a different mentality altogether, and I'm learning all the time. And the time that we have spent together over the last year, I've got to know the guys really, really well. You know, so it was a work in progress for me, but I think I'm pretty much on their station right now too.
All right. Well, before we let you wrap it up on our station, AD, just one final question on Twitter from Shane. And probably I think the guy we've spoken to most on this show during the course of the tour, the incredibly talented and very exciting to watch Vernon Philander. He wants to know if Vernon is part of the ODI plans at all. He's saying, you know, we need maybe another swing bowler in that side. Is the Vern part of the plans?
Every single one of the players that have been in the one-day setup, and you know, I think Gary made it very clear that certain people like Vernon and others as well have been part of the test setup. You know, I'm talking about Alvaro Peterson and his role. That we mustn't just think that they're part of one individual skill, as in Test cricket. You know, everybody's up there and keep performing as they do. So Vernon is always never too far away in terms of playing one-day cricket. But I mean, you always sort of weigh up what you have in the ODIs, and at the moment that Vern is definitely out there, you know, and he will be, I'm sure, discussed when it comes to ODI cricket. There's no question about it. He's not out of the equation by any stretch.
All right, cool. I think it sums up Shane's question very well. Adi, and always nice to chat to you. Thank you very much for taking time out and joining us this afternoon. All our best to the team for the final ODI tomorrow.
Thank you very much, guys.
Thanks, Al.
Bye-bye. There we go. Allan Donald joining us.
2 p.m. to 6 p.m. Mondays to Fridays live on balls.co.za. Balls.co.za.